Learning to be alone is one of the most important skills you will ever master. In a world full of noise, constant connection, and endless opinions, solitude feels uncomfortable because it forces you to face yourself. But that discomfort is where strength is built. When you learn to be alone, you stop relying on others to validate your existence. You stop searching for meaning in attention, messages, and approval. You begin to realize that peace is not found in company, it is found in clarity. Being alone teaches you self-control. It teaches you how to sit with your thoughts instead of escaping them. Instead of running to people when life becomes heavy, you learn to stand on your own. You begin to understand your emotions, your patterns, and your purpose. This is where self-respect is born, when you no longer abandon yourself just to feel accepted. Solitude sharpens the mind and strengthens the heart. It removes distractions and reveals truth. You start to see who truly matters, what truly matters, and what must be let go. When you are comfortable alone, you don't fear losing people, you fear losing yourself. And once you master being alone, you enter relationships not out of need, but out of choice. Being alone forces you to confront life without emotional crutches. When there is no one to comfort you, distract you, or reassure you, you are left with yourself, and that is where real strength is forged. In solitude, you learn how to handle pressure without collapsing, how to process pain without running, and how to move forward without waiting for encouragement. This is not weakness, this is self-reliance. Inner strength grows when you stop depending on others to stabilize your emotions. Instead of needing someone to calm you down, motivate you, or remind you of your worth, you begin to develop that power within yourself. You learn how to self-soothe, how to think rationally in moments of chaos, and how to regain control when life feels overwhelming. Every challenge faced alone becomes proof that you are capable. Being alone also builds mental toughness. You become comfortable with silence, uncertainty, and discomfort. You stop panicking when things don't go your way because you trust your ability to adapt. Over time, solitude teaches you patience, emotional control, and resilience. You realize that no matter who leaves, changes, or disappoints you, you will still stand, because your strength no longer comes from others, it comes from within. Silence removes the mask you wear for the world. When the noise fades, no conversations to distract you, no opinions to influence you, no constant stimulation, you are finally left alone with your own thoughts. At first, this can feel uncomfortable, even overwhelming, because silence forces you to face emotions you may have been avoiding. But this confrontation is necessary for real self-understanding. In silence, you begin to notice patterns in your thinking. You recognize what truly excites you, what drains you, and what quietly hurts you. Without outside voices shaping your decisions, your inner voice becomes clearer. You start to understand why you react the way you do, why certain situations trigger you, and why some goals feel meaningful while others feel empty. This awareness is the foundation of emotional intelligence. Silence also teaches honesty. When you are alone, there is no audience to impress and no role to perform. You don't have to pretend to be strong, happy, or confident. You can admit your fears, acknowledge your weaknesses, and accept your desires without judgment. Through this quiet reflection, you begin to align your actions with your true values instead of living according to expectations placed on you by others. When you learn to be alone, you slowly break free from the habit of seeking approval from others. Validation loses its power when you realize that external praise is temporary and unreliable. Compliments fade, attention shifts, and people's opinions change, but your self-worth must remain steady. Solitude teaches you to separate who you are from how others react to you. In being alone, you begin to observe how often your actions were driven by the desire to be seen, liked, or accepted. You recognize the exhaustion that comes from constantly proving yourself. Without an audience, there is no pressure to perform. You start doing things because they matter to you, not because they earn applause. This shift builds a quiet confidence that doesn't need to announce itself. As validation stops being your fuel, self-trust takes its place. You become comfortable making decisions without asking for permission or reassurance. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't understand you. The need to be chosen, approved, or praised fades, and in its place grows a deep sense of self-respect and independence. Solitude teaches you how to stand emotionally on your own feet. When you are alone, there is no one to absorb your stress, distract you from your pain, or carry your emotional weight. You are forced to process your feelings instead of avoiding them. This process is uncomfortable, but it is powerful. It shows you that emotions are not enemies, they are signals meant to be understood, not escaped. Through solitude, you learn how to handle disappointment, anxiety, and uncertainty without collapsing. You stop expecting others to fix your mood or rescue you from difficult moments. Instead, you develop coping skills, reflection, self-talk, patience, and emotional regulation. You learn how to calm your mind, ground yourself in reality, and regain balance when emotions feel intense. Emotional independence also changes how you connect with others. You no longer attach out of fear or desperation. You stop clinging to people to feel secure. Because you can handle your emotions alone, relationships become healthier and more balanced. You bring stability instead of need, presence instead of pressure, and strength instead of emotional dependence. When you become comfortable being alone, your tolerance for disrespect disappears. You no longer accept poor treatment just to avoid loneliness. Solitude teaches you that your peace is valuable, and once you understand that, you stop allowing people, situations, or environments to disturb it. Being alone becomes a baseline, not a threat, and this changes what you are willing to accept. Comfort with solitude removes desperation from your decisions. You stop holding on to connections that drain you, manipulate you, or make you feel small. Instead of asking, "Who will stay with me?" you begin asking, "Who deserves access to me?" This shift in thinking raises your standards naturally. You become selective, not arrogant, protective, not closed off. As your standards rise, your boundaries become clearer. You communicate more honestly, walk sooner, and settle less. You no longer fear endings because you know solitude is safer than chaos. Being alone teaches you that your worth is not measured by how many people choose you, but how well you choose yourself. Isolation removes the constant pull of distractions that scatter your attention. When you are alone, there are fewer interruptions, fewer opinions, and fewer emotional demands competing for your energy. This quiet environment allows your mind to settle, making it easier to concentrate deeply on what truly matters. Focus becomes stronger because your attention is no longer divided. In isolation, discipline begins to replace motivation. You stop waiting for inspiration or external pressure to act. Without anyone watching or reminding you, your actions become a reflection of your character. You learn to show up for yourself consistently, to work when it's difficult, to study when it's boring, and to improve when no one is applauding. This self-discipline builds long-term success. Isolation also teaches you how to manage time and energy wisely. You become more aware of how you spend your hours and where your effort goes. With fewer distractions, you can create routines, set clear goals, and make steady progress. Over time, this focused effort compounds, turning solitude into a powerful space for personal mastery and growth. Being alone removes the illusion that love must come from outside of you. When there is no one else to distract, reassure, or affirm you, you are forced to confront how you treat yourself. Solitude reveals whether you respect yourself, speak kindly to yourself, or constantly judge and neglect your own needs. This awareness is the first step towards genuine self-love. In alone time, you begin to listen to yourself more closely.
You recognize when you are tired, overwhelmed, or emotionally drained, and you learn to respond with care instead of criticism. You stop ignoring your boundaries just to please others. Self-love grows as you learn to rest without guilt, say no without fear, and choose what protects your mental peace. Being alone also teaches acceptance. Without comparison or external pressure, you start to accept who you are in this moment, flaws, fears, and all. You stop trying to become someone else to earn love. Instead, you begin building a respectful relationship with yourself, one where you support your growth, forgive your mistakes, and value your presence without needing validation from anyone else. Learning to be alone is not about shutting the world out, it's about finally standing strong within it. When you can sit in silence without fear, walk alone without feeling incomplete, and trust yourself without